Digital assets are global. It moves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To be able to work with Ripple is going to be a key competitive edge for BDEX. BDEX is at the center of this transformative landscape to providing the best-in-class user experience as institutions are being first introduced to digital assets in Korea.
Now, as you saw in the intro of the video, customer spotlight, BDAX from Korea, one of only 4 licensed crypto custodians in South Korea, is delivering secure institutional access, XRP, RLUSD, and other tokenized assets with Ripple custody. If you want to learn more about how BDAX is working with Ripple, bring the benefits of blockchain tokenization, they have a much larger blog post over here on their website. Feel free to head over there and check it all out. Also, huge news for this upcoming week. We got a great post from James Rule XRP. Probably nothing. Just kidding. DC FinTech Week is coming up. Co-host Amazon Web Services, Visa, the FinTech Foundation. Platinum sponsors Davis Polk, Robinhood, Citi, Circle, Gibson Dunn, Chainlink, Ripple, Ondo, and Intuit. So we continue to see the work together of traditional finance and crypto finance going forward. And happy birthday to Ripple. Cheers to 13 years XRP, now 13 years old. As you know, the XRP ETF finally launched last week. It's doing okay, but as we see right here, we have a lot more to go coming up in October. Now, as you heard me talk about in the beginning of this video, $1.6 billion worth of FTX is being released on September 30th. There's going to be a ton of liquidity. People could then pump into XRP, getting ahead of the buy the rumor, sell the news event of the ETFs launching for XRP. So the FTX distribution marks the 3rd payout to creditors of the former exchange as it continues distributing the total of 16.5 billions in funds. And I know a lot of you guys out there are geniuses, have been in crypto for many years, and probably were involved holding some tokens on FTX. So you felt the pain and you are ready for yours to be paid back to you as well. This is the 3rd distribution, which includes a 6% payout for .com customer claims, a 40% distribution for U.S. customer entitlement claims, and a 24% distribution for general unsecured claims and digital asset loan claims. Convenience claims will receive 120% reimbursement as part of September's payout. FTX creditors will receive an email that the distribution has been sent to distribution providers, includes those previously distributed claims, overstated claims. The claims portal will update on the 22nd in September of 2025. Funds will be credited by distributed providers on September 30th, 2025. Now, Gary Gensler's doubled down on his crypto approach while he was the lead of SEC.
They are reversing a lot of what you did. And how are you feeling about what they're doing now?
So I'm very proud of what we accomplished.
And the crypto community is ecstatic not to have you there anymore and to have him there. Looking back on it, I mean, do you think that was the right call?
Yes, I think.
Because look, now we have this like burgeoning industry and there's so much more innovation and leadership in the US.
And a lot more capital coming into it. There may be more capital in terms of the interest in the public. The public is interested. I get that. But for investors.
Do you think this is dangerous, what they're doing?
Put aside Bitcoin. But most of the other tokens are not tied to any fundamentals. Like Warren Buffett would say, what are the goods? What are the revenues? What are they selling?
As you heard the host there in the video, absolutely roasting Gary Gensler, pointing out the fact that crypto fans absolutely despised him, even investors not happy with him. But Paul Grewal, from the chief legal officer of Coinbase, says, since you are suddenly in the mood to talk, where are those text messages you were required by law to preserve? Now, if you don't remember, just recently it was coming out during a investigation into what he was doing at the SEC, being Gensler, the text messages about all of the different things he was pulling off with his people suppressing the crypto community have been deleted and no one can find them. While Gensler served as SEC chair from 2021 to 25 amid crypto market downturn, a massive fraud through cryptocurrency exchange FTX, and many companies filing for bankruptcy, the agency under Trump has radically changed its approach. So if you remember, it comes out that Gary Gensler's his goal at the SEC at the time was to stop crypto from taking off. And he did a great job of suppressing it, as you just heard, all of these things that he had accomplished while he was there. Negative things, but massive accomplishments for his regime and what they were trying to stop from happening. In addition to the lawsuits and investigations against many crypto companies being dropped by the acting SEC chair, Mark Ueda, as soon as he got in and they were able to get Gensler out, the agency's leadership has gone on to say that very few tokens are securities and introduce streamlining listing standards for cryptocurrency exchange funds, which we've been talking about all this week, which is very, very exciting. We're going to jump over to the XRP charts here shortly, but what's going on fundamentally? Why is the price going down? Well, XRP did get hit by a 903% liquidation imbalance just over the last 24 hours. CoinGlass data shows that XRP bulls have been caught unaware as the price took a plunge contrary to the expectations it would rally. Notably, in the last 24 hours, approximately $7.93 million wiped out as a result of price volatility. Long traders lost a staggering $7.2 million, up to 903%. It indicates a lot of XRP holders were betting on a further increase in the value as the asset before it nosedived. And it's worth mentioning that XRP is not the only asset with liquidation imbalance set against the bulls. Ethereum, which posted the highest liquidation figures, saw long position traders lose $61 million as August short position traders lost $4.14 million. XRP awaiting an October rally. Well, interesting analysts have been attributed to stagnation in XRP's price to a deliberate suppression move by institutional interests. And as you know, it's no secret, but there are a lot of claims that powerful financial institutions are manipulating the asset's growth to accumulate the asset cheaper. According to Jim Willey, were it not for the price manipulation, XRP could have soared between $7 and $8 last run. The analyst considers XRP as an alternative liquidity to US fiat, hence the huge bet by institutional interest. Regardless, most market participants appear to be waiting for October when the price of most crypto assets historically records a rally. The current low trading volume, which is down 28.6 at 3.83 billion, suggests a cautious pullback by investors. All right, let's head over to TradingView and take a look at a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to pull up the Dixie here, which is the dollar. We're going to go to the Heikin Ashis and we're going to look for some supply and demand zones because where price is right now, we can see it is getting into a potential supply and demand support area. But if it breaks that level, as we were talking about in that update, we could see a continued drop. So as we can see right here, during the push up, there was this interference here. We always use this very last candle of this interference zone before the next move up. And in fact, this is the level here above us we can use. That'll be a resistance when it starts heading back to the upside. But as you can see right now on the weekly charts here, it did just bounce off of this zone. If it does lose that level, we could see a return to these levels here, which is the 94. And then we can continue our drop all the way down to levels here, which is the 89 as the bottom. And this would be getting us into those levels we were talking about in that report, right? The $90, $89 level. Or as he was saying, even the ultimate low, which I don't see it breaking below these levels, but you can see that $88 is what he talked about as a potential low for us. Now, it would be crazy insane if we did have some sort of situation where it was not very good at all for the dollar and the dollar just crashed. Then you would see a return to the levels down here as our next level of support, 85 to 84.